It is the RIOT podcast in which there are favorites and then just filler. But
let's see what the ratio is of favorites and fillers today.
I want you guys to go through and see if you can decide favorite filler, favorite filler, favorite filler.
It's like, let's think of it as our drinking game, but please choose wisely as to which soda you might be drinking during the game.
So in today's podcast, Nikki finally saw John Wick 3.
I did.
I finally saw Aladdin.
You did.
Woo, I was counting that down. We also talk about the Alien movie, CrossFit, selling your DNA, bathtubs, and the problem that society has pushed on all of us, and one brave man who stands tall above the rest.
Actually, if you just go onto YouTube, there's a lot of people.
Planking, Robert Pattinson, Invasion, pet bears, burnout, on and on. So you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Remember, favorites and fillers.
Just decide which one's which.
That's right.
Hopefully don't forget to enjoy more that we have. More filler, more favorites. You can go to RadioU RIOT on Facebook, or if you want to check out RadioU RIOT on our YouTube channel, there you'll find playlists for if we have any artist interviews, RIOT food fights, Obadiah plays, and more. You'll just see them there and you can catch up.
And just so you know, like I'm going to take one off the table for the guessing game. My favorite of the favorites involves a woman in China.
Did you put that in there?
It's in there. You'll see what we mean.
All right, go grab a drink.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the RIOT podcast.
You know, Nikki, the thing is sometimes somebody makes something really great and goes away, and they come back and make something amazing.
Sure.
Then sometimes they make something really great and they go away and they come back and they don't make something amazing.
That is also a chance. It's a chance it's a risk.
And which is why I want everyone to join me in signing my internet petition that I'm going to be setting up really soon, any moment now. I haven't set up yet, but I'm going to.
Still early.
Yeah. And that petition is to not let Ridley Scott make another Alien movie.
I saw that. I wondered how your thoughts were. But wouldn't he do a good job at it? I mean, that was always his.
Nikki sent me the article this morning. No, it actually wasn't always his. Like, he made the first one.
Yeah.
And then didn't make any.
So,
for like 30 years.
I don't know if I've seen an Aliens movie. I've seen Prometheus, but I've not seen Aliens. Is he considered, was one considered to be the best one, or was 2 or 3 or whatever?
1 and 2 are considered to be like the good ones. And then it's like everything else. Then after that, it's like,
it's a little wishy-washy.
The people at the studio are like, well, we're bringing it back. Come on.
And again.
We're going to build a whole thing on it and makes the money.
But see, for Ridley Scott, I think I saw in the article, is he 81 at this point? Sometimes I feel like studios are just putting him and his name out in the front there, but how much is he doing at that point?
He's doing the work.
He's doing the work?
He is. I mean, if the things I read and the stuff,
do you know?
But I just mean, if the things I read about it are true, then yes, he is. I mean, you're right. I mean, to what extent? I don't know. I just know watching was it the Prometheus documentary I watched? It's like him and a bunch of people drinking wine and drawing. And after a while, I was like, somebody take his wine away, put a cup of coffee in his hand,
and get the movies
smack
out.
him a couple of times. Come on.
Not sure how you feel about it. I get it now.
I just watched Prometheus again a couple of weeks ago. My dad and I watched it.
How's it hold up? It was terrible when I saw it.
It is one of the best looking movies. That's the thing. The production design and the quality is just it is top notch. You couldn't beat it. I mean, it just looks so
Still
good.
Looks good?
Oh, yeah. What is it now? 8 years later, or however old that movie is. But the movie itself, it's just keep banging your head on a board the whole time you're watching it. Why are they doing this? Why?
But it looks so good, but why?
It does. And so I felt the same way about Alien Covenant. Great looking movie, but it was just this is just a great example of not getting it.
So they want to make another Alien.
They're making another one.
They're making another movie.
To celebrate the 40th anniversary. But that's this year. So when's it going to come out? Next year? I don't have the date on it, but I'm guessing that's what they're going to do. So they're bringing it back, everybody.
And Ridley Scott will be there.
Get yourself another Alien movie, just like you want.
All right. So basically they say that Ridley Scott was in Hollywood within 32 hours of receiving the script for the newest one. With his glass of wine. Ready to go, Obi. Ready to go.
Make sure there's a case of wine and a bunch of people just sketching whatever I say out loud.
It might be that or it might be... Well, no, I doubt they're drinking box wine.
I'm sure the studio's paying for, quote-unquote, the good stuff.
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy? No.
RadioU.
CrossFit quit Facebook.
Yes, I was reading about that for sometime over the weekend? Or?
They did, which is weird because they're off Instagram and Facebook. And
there's still one page left, they said, but everything else is gone.
I don't even understand how they can do that because isn't that the whole reason you CrossFit is to take pictures of yourself CrossFitting?
Well, you can still use the hashtag or something. Like, I'm sure people can still post, but this organization is not using it as the way for you guys to find out information.
So it all started apparently on May 22nd when, no. Okay, that's the day that they quit. Which would have been last Wednesday. Is that true? Yeah. Okay. So what they ended up doing, they basically nailed their 95 theses to the wall of Facebook, but it was just 8 of them. And so they listed 8 reasons why they were leaving. It started with Facebook suspending some of their accounts because they were posting about some sort of a 7-day meal plan that was basically a kind of like a raw eating plan. So you were trying to get food as uncooked and unprocessed as possible, et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
and something about that crossed the algorithm.
Well, they had a lot. They said that a lot of their pages were just being removed or banned or having problems without... The biggest thing was that without them being told why and the details around it, so they just got fed up.
So they had their 8 reasons. Here's a couple of them. Facebook collects and aggregates user information and shares it with state and federal authorities, as well as security organizations from other countries. Facebook censors and removes user accounts based on unknown criteria, et cetera, et cetera. And here's the big one that everyone is loving so much. Facebook's news feeds are censored and crafted to reflect the political leanings of Facebook's utopian socialists while remaining vulnerable to misinformation campaigns designed to stir up violence and prejudice. Sick burn. So they're out. And when is this going to start happening? You know, we use Facebook. Lots of people do.
Everybody feels forced to use Facebook.
Right. But when do we all just go, bye?
I don't know. I always think back to like Andrew from Project 86. There was, several years ago, he got fed up with the algorithm of it all. And I remember he still uses it all, but he would start to drag people back to his website. Whereas even now, everybody goes to just your Facebook page. Even if you have a website, you're still pushing mostly the Facebook page.
Right.
And so he got tired of it too. And so you start redirecting people somewhere else. Well, when do you start? What do you do with that?
Well, I guess you make an announcement on Facebook.
Well, that's ironic. I mean,
you sound like, hey, we're leaving. So this is where you can get to us. But I just wonder, like, when at some point it seems like we don't care. And I think that's very true. But, you know, all it would take is a few high profile people and things backing out enough. And the only thing is, though, we've gotten used to this idea of an online connected space that even if everybody abandoned Facebook for something else, whatever that other thing is that they would go to, here's what they would do. They would come out and be like, we're not saving this and we're not giving that and we're not selling that. And they just would anyway.
Well, they all run the same way.
It would all go the same way. So I don't know. I hate it, but I can honestly say I don't know how to get out of it.
Everybody hates it, but you're right. There's not really an answer as to what, especially if you're a company, your organization, what can you do outside of using it?
Yeah. I feel like getting rid of it would be like getting rid of my phone.
But if they're banning and pulling your pages anyways, well, this company has no other choice to go find something else.
Yeah. So good luck out there, CrossFit. Don't worry. Your people will find a way to post their pictures somewhere.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, did you take in any Memorial Day sales?
Any sales?
Like, did you get a new mattress or?
It does seem like that's still what's the big main push for sales.
Something like that?
No, that or it seems like home and garden stuff, but I did not. I didn't buy anything over the weekend.
Oh, home and garden. I did some home and gardening over the weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, I spent like 2 hours fixing my lawnmower. It was
yay!
awesome.
Well,
was
that's
awesome.
Exciting.
But they had free popcorn at the hardware store. So that's a thing. No.
So it's almost like they're paying you to come in.
It's no big deal.
Because, that popcorn must be just so much money.
You know what? I ate it, though.
I
was like, you know what? I'll take some. I'll have some of that popcorn.
It's the really salty popcorn where it's like you're glad to have it, but it's just so salty.
I think it's supposed to be for the children. But I went in for it.
Sure.
So, yeah. You know what? I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'll just say if you ever get an opportunity to spend some time working on something, that's a lot of fun. Because, at first you're like...
fix something?
Yeah. Well, are you fixing it?
Trying to repair?
Yeah, because first off, you're not fixing it until you're done. And then you can look back at it and go, I fixed it. When you're in the middle of it, it is repair, it is work, it is trying. It's a lot of things, but it's really the outcome that determines whether or not you have, in fact, broken it more or have fixed it. Because oftentimes when staring at something, either one of those is a likely outcome. I'm going to break this more. I'll have to buy a new one. Or, hey,
I fixed it. It worked.
I did it. So I took mine apart. It was really, oh my gosh.
Your lawnmower?
Yeah. A nut had fallen off that was causing the wheel to basically not work, like wobble so badly that the mower was not working. And so I was like, I'll just need to tighten the wheel. You're a sweet kid.
Did it start an avalanche of other problems?
I had to take the wheel off, take this off, take that off, whatever, only to find out like this one bolt was missing. Had to go looking for the bolt, bring it back, get it put on, got everything put together, only to realize that I put the things in the wrong holes. And so like one side of the mower was super high, the other was super low. So you had to take it all back apart again, reassemble it, realize you couldn't figure out what hole's the what hole. So kind of tighten some things back down, look at it again. I think I fixed it, tighten it back up. Now the other side's not right. So
of course that's how it was. That's how it always is.
I had a great time, and I think we should all tear something apart today.
And go find a place that'll give you free popcorn while you're trying to fix it.
Yeah. And then part of the flavor I feel like is eating the popcorn with your filthy hands. So you get a little like... oily
everyday
taste, a little something in your mouth to go with it, a little petroleum with your popcorn. It was, what?
Nothing.
Oh, it was great.
It's a nice flavor.
Man, I'm having a great time.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on RadioU.
So Nikki and I both spent some time at the movie theater this weekend, and oddly enough, I got popcorn there too.
It seems to be where you like to get popcorn no matter where you go.
I had a weirdly popcorn-infused weekend.
Don't realize until you're on the other end, right?
Now that I look back, there sure was a lot of popcorn. What's going on?
It's just how you cope. That's how you make it through each day.
I guess. So, Nikki, what did you see?
Well, let's see. On Friday, kicking off the Memorial Day weekend.
I went to the movies on Friday,
too. Did you? I had popcorn, too. Let's see. I went to see John Wick 3. And I thought it was way better than John Wick 2.
Yes.
Still not.
Why was it better, though? Because it was still full of just over-the-top nonsense. Like, and by that, I mean some of the mythology kind of stuff. I mean, they've jumped into straight action fantasy. I don't even know if that's a genre, but they made it.
I agree. But it's nothing compared to still the first one. But I felt like some of the acting and the depth of it was a little bit better than the second one.
Okay.
That was very shallow of a movie.
Don't disagree.
There wasn't a lot to it. I told Obi, though, that because he had mentioned when he had seen it that there was a couple of parts that were just a little too over the top for you. And so in the beginning, I was trying to oh, that's it. That's what he was talking about. But then I couldn't tell because it was all over the top.
It kept escalating.
And I think there was a lot of, it's not like it's not a headshot, but kind of where there's a lot of stabbing in the head and a lot of shooting in the head. And
way more stabbing in the head than shooting. Like this there's so much knives.
Yes, there is.
And it's knives. No, knives. Believe me.
I told him that, if we're all fighting each other, we're all like at war with each other, there should be still a sense of decorum where we don't go for the head like that in such a way if we're killing each other. But in the movie, they got no problem doing that. And how can people survive? Like, couple of fights in.
Nikki, that's the idea. They don't want them to. By the end of the movie,
I was like, how are you still alive, John Wick? But
well. Some of the things that happen to him, you're just like, yeah, right.
That's just all the glass that he's going through. I'm like, yeah, sure.
That's what, again, like it's action fantasy.
I am basically taken out if I bump into glass, let alone if I'm breaking glass, like he kept doing.
What I think's funny is like these John Wick movies, 2 and 3 make John Wick seem like a grounded, feasible thing. You're just like, oh yeah, that's totally real.
I thought it was better than, like I said, the second one.
Yeah, and
there was a lot of older ladies in the movie theater. I felt like they got in
that Keanu.
I thought they got in the wrong theater. We're talking like 80s and above.
No,
and I thought
we're
leaving.
Johnny.
I was like, what are you guys doing here? It's so violent. I don't think you should be in here. You're the wrong theater.
John Wick 3 slid from first place into second place over the weekend, despite Nikki's patronage. It pulled in $24 million over the weekend.
So its total is like $108 million.
Aladdin was the big winner over the weekend, $90 million.
Now, as a riot, I took care of the John Wick 3, and then you took care of seeing Aladdin.
Yeah, I'll give you my Aladdin thoughts in a couple of minutes. Avengers Endgame still hanging at number 3. It's made $798 million domestically.
No, I think it's now at 803.
Oh,
it got more overnight.
So people just donated overnight.
It is now the second film ever to top 800 million domestically. That's the difference. Remember,
what's the other one?
Was it Titanic? It doesn't cover it.
Pokemon came in at number 4. Brightburn at number 5. Oh,
did anybody like that? Or
no? I didn't read a single review where people were like, well, that was interesting.
Really?
Everybody was like, nah.
No, I thought, at least from the trailer and what the premise of it was, I thought that could be unique.
I still think it looks interesting, though I didn't make it to it. I saw Aladdin instead. I went with the mainstream choice.
Look at that.
It was my friends.
You voted
it wasn't
with
me.
Yeah. I know you're saying that, but
it wasn't me.
Got to sometimes stand up to your friends.
Well, you know what? Every time I stand up to friends, I have to look for new friends.
At least I got to go to the movies with your friends.
And had popcorn.
Yeah, that was great.
And they had a thing where I got an Avengers popcorn 10 because it was like
left over.
Yeah, it was like small popcorn $5, medium popcorn $6 with free Avengers Endgame 10. And I was like, you know what? Here's another $1. Make it rain.
Popcorn with butter and the 10, please.
Popcorn for everyone.
Wow, it was a really good weekend then, right?
Was it?
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So over the weekend, Nikki went to see John Wick and was disturbed. I went to see Aladdin and was strangely not disturbed.
I heard better reviews as we went into the weekend. It seems like people were more forgiving into the weekend.
Oh, it's way better than any of the trailers or clips or whatever.
So why did they make it look so bad going into it?
I don't know. I just feel like it. I don't know. I don't know when I have ever gone to see something where the trailers were bad. I mean, we've all had the experience where the trailers are so good and the movie is just hot, steaming garbage.
Because they use either all the good parts in it or they just manipulate it enough.
Right. Well, I will tell you that instead, it ended up being really good. I mean, I wouldn't go to say that it was amazing. I don't think that I would necessarily, let me say it this way. I'm not interested in seeing it again, but if we happen to watch it again, it would be fine.
Sure.
Because I thought the lead actor and actress were both very good. I thought that Will Smith was a good genie. And again, you know what, truth be told, I don't even know if you could have conveyed that outside of the movie because of what they do with the genie. It requires a whole lot of context, but once you put it in the context, it's like, oh, yeah.
Not as bad.
Yeah, this works.
So Dana texted said Aladdin was way better than I thought it would be. A truly surprised and delighted. And then Brandon also texted, saw it last night, pleasantly surprised. You know, like all the quotes that they put with the movie, they're all like for Aladdin, like pleasantly surprised, genuinely shocked.
At just how good it was.
Yeah, because, you know, you made it look bad.
Well, I mean, my expectations were crazy low going into it. And instead, I just thought it worked. I thought the music was good. They they kind of changed the, how do I want to say this? Like the core message of the film is not what it is in the animated film. It has kind of a new hook. It works.
I caught a lot of people saying they appreciated how true to the animated one it was.
It is, but I just felt like some of the where they took the characters and how it played out a little different. I guess we could argue over whether that's true or not, but
we're all pleasantly surprised.
I thought it was all right. I really was actively disinterested in seeing it, uninterested, but went anyway, and instead was like, you know what?
Not the worst.
All right. And hey, that's pretty good. I mean, you think about it. You take somebody who doesn't want to watch something, and by the time they're done, they're like, hey, that was pretty good. I feel like that's a long journey.
That is a knock on the Disney marketing department, who we feel like made a somewhat big mistake with how they presented Aladdin going into it, when every single person coming out was like, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I agree with you.
I don't think they'd be too excited about that. They're glad you like it. But.
I feel like of all those, live action remakes they're doing, this was the one that I feel like they barely advertised. They probably did. The advertising they did for it I thought was terrible. And all I hear about is The Lion King. And I think The Lion King looks dumb. Because, guys...
Save it for later.
No, I'm saying
You're saying it now.
They're like, it's the live action Lion King. No, it's not. Those are CGI animals. It's Toy Story. It is a CGI, computer generated animated film. They just are making it look real. It's not real. Sorry, whatever.
Okay, well, we'll just wait to find out when that comes out.
Well, I'm glad we had this talk.
Wow, not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on RadioU.
You know what I think is underrated? And if you look around, it's true. Go into any, average home in America, and what do they have? They've got a shower bath combo, and what's the bath? It's big enough to put your foot in it. It's just sad. These sad little bathtubs that somehow...
Sad little bathtubs.
They are. They're sad little bathtubs where you're just...
It's like when you go into an old house or an old theater from the very early 1900s where apparently people were smaller and shorter and you feel like a giant. Like with these bathtubs, you just don't fit in it.
No. Well,
and it's not just width-wise, it's height-wise.
See, I don't think they built those for adults to take a bath in. I think those are... this is my
for
theory.
Kids or something?
Hey, this will get you through your kids and then take a shower like an adult. Come on. And so I feel your pain when it comes to this, because what I would love to do is I would love to have a huge bathtub that I could live in. I want to have a bathtub, and then I was thinking about installing essentially a soda machine where I could just keep drinking.
When you're at those pools and you can swim up to the bar.
Exactly.
And it's got the seats in it. And be like, how does this bathtub have this? And then you swim on up to the soda machine.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, anytime you see these kings of old that have built these insane baths and they're like, look at the decadence. And I'm like, oh, finally one that works. Finally what I'm looking for. Oh, my gosh. Which is why I have a hard time, feeling too bad or too harshly towards the guy that at Wendy's, he went ahead and took himself a bath in
the bathtub sink guy.
In the sink. You know what? He did that because he finally found a space that was big enough for him to be able to take a bath, because at home, the bath is completely inadequate. So, it's a big deal. There was soap. So I'm sure it's all clean.
But you're not supposed to when you're at your workplace. I mean, unless it's a case of apologize afterwards, ask for forgiveness then, and no one said no going into it. So now you know.
Mm-hmm. So I haven't found out whether or not, I'm
sure he's been fired.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Don't be sure, Nikki. We should call them right now and see if they're...
I don't want to spread fake news if he's got fired or not.
Hey, guys.
I guess I assumed, mostly because it went viral for the Wendy's video, and Wendy's is not great, wonderful.
Hey, Wendy's
Thank you so much.
Wendy's likes that viral stuff.
They don't want that.
Who was it, Chance, the rapper that brought back the spicy nuggets?
Yeah, that's a different type of viral. That's good marketing. This is not.
You know what, Nikki? I just don't agree. I think this is wonderful. I think the idea of come down to Wendy's, we've been bathing with your food.
I think it was just a prep sink. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's just a real earthy feel that I think that a lot of people...
They're really about the people and what we really want.
And I'll bet you, if we went through all of the training materials that were created for those employees, I'll bet you they were never told to not bathe in the sink.
Because no one thought that was going to happen. And I can guarantee if you go to any fast food restaurant, people will be bathing in those sink tubs too.
That's probably... This guy, he looked clean and clean cut. At least there's that.
Like, everybody's doing that during the downtime when there's not enough people to keep you busy.
Yeah, this is... The real tragedy here is when they tell you that we're getting your fries. Hang on. Fries are coming out hot.
What is taking so long? You don't know they're bathing back there.
The fry guy's in the bath. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know if Wendy's was too excited about that.
Well, I'm just telling you that I feel like it's society's fault. Give us bigger bathtubs.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So it appears that when you sign up for one of those ancestry websites where you get the DNA test kit,
like no one knew this was going on.
They're doing what you always thought they were doing
and selling all your information. I'm sure they're selling it to a lot of companies.
It's like no shocker here, guys. Like, okay, at the end of the day, what you have to understand is big data is where the money is right now. There's no gold rush. Some people are like, we're going to get money from other planets and asteroids. Mm-mm. Man, that takes forever. I can build a swab kit cheap, though. Here, just put this in your mouth and send it back to me. Okay, there. So they have been selling, 23andMe is the name of the website. And the company allegedly
is being accused,
sold the client's data to a big pharma firm. They're calling it GSK
for $300 million. They're making money on both sides of this. They're making money from, you, the person buying the kit, and then the pharmaceutical companies spending money on that. So this company's making away with a lot of money.
And look here, look at that, 25% off. Wow, the DNA testing kit is $150.
It should at least be free if they're making all this money.
I know, it's ad-supported at this point, right?
Pretty much it is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nikki. It's normally $199, and it's on sale for $149. So we should probably move fast.
So basically what they're saying is people have been concerned for quite some time for all this DNA, those companies, because, yes, they sell off personal data to third parties, and they're also a little nervous because that data could easily be manipulated before it's sold to different areas, different people, organizations, and that would not be a good thing.
Okay, I got this 25% off thing plus free gift wrapping. So I can give, you can give it as a gift.
Absolutely.
Plus free gift wrap. Wow.
Well, for a while there, that was pushed a lot, and people are like, yeah, they wanted to know a bit about their ancestry, and then that was like a gift you would give your parents, or they would send you. I knew a lot of people who had it sent from their parents who wanted everyone in the family to find out.
I don't want to know. Like, don't you? No,
you don't want to.
Not really. And you know why? Because I'm a good old American mutt. I'm an American. That's it. End of story. Yeah, but you're... I don't care. Whatever. Immigrant something, whatever. I don't know. I know we came from somewhere. We were probably dirt farmers and ate dirt.
That's all you needed to know.
That's probably it.
So that's the big news on that side of things. They're concerned about what are these companies going to be doing with the data and how it can be manipulated.
Dude. You know what?
Which is funny because we were all manipulated in the first place. So.
I knew it. If I'm telling you, if you guys would just watch science fiction, you would understand so much more. Like, did you watch the X-Files? Then they're just building a huge database of people, and eventually people are going to be selected for their genetic whatever and given to the aliens for the black goo. And you're like, well, the black goo. Yeah, okay, the black goo part is obviously the fake part, but like the building the database of everybody's DNA.
And now
it's real.
What's been popular for like the last year, because then everybody had done it for like them, is to
high-waisted jeans?
No, That'll never go away, so help me. No, the dogs and cats like to do it for your pets, too. It's not just you, it's your pets.
You're telling your dog, like, you descended from very famous dogs in Australia.
Well, then you can find out what breed, your dog has, and then they sell it to you like, oh, then in case your dog or cat has health problems, where some of it could be stemming from.
So this is a way for them to get you to pay. It's like a pre-vet payment.
Pretty much.
We're going to tell you what you should be saving your money for as your pet grows older.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Now, I really don't want to be offensive to those of you that live in Texas, because we all know Texas is a wonderful place and everything's
amazing.
Big there.
Every time a Texas listener texts us from Texas, you guys are always the best.
Mm-hmm. And mad respect, everybody.
Good one.
Yeah, Texas.
So the butt part's coming soon, though.
It is. They have snakes there.
They have a lot.
Big ones. You know why? Because they don't get a good enough winter there. You get a good winter, it kills the snakes.
Keeps them from growing too big.
They can't get too big, and, we're all thankful for that. But over the weekend, there was a large snake found at the Crossroads Walmart in Texas. An employee was collecting carts and screamed.
It was in the carts.
How did it get in the cart?
Well, it just probably slithered in. It can fit through the little slots.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, absolutely.
But it's a big snake.
It just sucks it in. It's used to going into holes. It's fine.
Okay.
So he probably thought, I'll be safe in the cart.
Yeah.
Or maybe he wanted to go in. It was just waiting for someone to wheel it on in.
It was just like, you know what? I need a few things, and they won't let me in the door, so maybe I can sneak in this way.
I can come in this way.
I'm sure someone won't notice.
Someone did notice, and they called in this individual in the area who's known as the snake charmer.
Yeah.
And he came in and was working on relocating the snake. And he was bit once in the process, I guess. So it was a mad snake.
And people, I don't know how they do it. They're just like, it's not that big of a deal.
So this is at the Walmart in Crossroads in Texas. It is called a large rat snake, and it was in one of the carts.
Is rat snakes aren't poisonous? Or
I don't
are poisonous?
know. If I had to guess, it'd be a snake that eats a lot of rats. And they're like, yeah, let's just call it a large rat snake.
Rat snakes hunt and kill mice. Rat snakes are not poisonous. They are venomous. They are not deadly to humans, being actually beneficial to humans about the control of the rodent population.
I see.
So you're supposed to be glad that it's there.
So the guy was able to assist in the relocation, but again, he got bit once in the process.
John Heckerman, known as the snake charmer, he's the guy the police call. In Texas, the police have a guy.
For the snake problems?
They're like, oh, yeah. I know a guy. We'll call him. They call it. What do you think the police pay the snake charmer guy?
Maybe $300-$400.
Hey, man, that's pretty good. I mean, he just shows up. I don't know. He gets bit by a snake a couple times.
Like in Florida with the alligators, have to remove those. So for this, it's the second most common type of snake to keep as a pet. Apparently, but no one was keeping it.
Keeping it as a pet. If you have a friend that keeps snakes as a pet, I just want you to know they're sizing you up for potentially feeding their snake.
To feed it later on. When times get tough and they need food for their snake, you're next.
Yeah. I mean, they'll just see if they can get you in there because they'll just squeeze you in. No big deal. So there you go. Snakes in Texas. I need to continue to live in a deciduous forest.
Can't be there.
Mm-hmm. Or the Arctic, also a possibility.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I told you that we are heading into a Robert Pattinson future, guys. It's happening, right? Come on, here's the deal. Robert Pattinson, shiny vampire from Twilight. Some of you went, oh, and some of you went, blah.
But there's been rumors the last couple of weeks that he should be the next Batman.
Yeah, well, no, I think he's going to be.
Well, I mean, I think it makes people feel better if we still just say rumors. Not that I think he'll be bad at it. I'm not sure. I'm not one to say.
Last week, we found out that next year, when Christopher Nolan's new movie comes out, he will be featured rather prominently in that. And then, lo and behold, he's also in The Lighthouse with William Dafoe.
Okay, now, just you saying that, you're like, what does that have to do with anything? Because I don't feel like that's a movie that, am I expected to care about, or what is it?
I don't think you'll care about it at all. But it won a Critics Award at Cannes last week. So, guess what?
It's just more him?
It's more him, Nikki. What he's doing is he's slowly out there building credibility, art house films, things here and there, winning awards. Been doing. Okay. And next year, and then the year after that, and pretty soon you're like, no, I always liked him. He's great.
I thought he was the perfect choice for Batman.
I felt like he was really underrated and just, an amazing performer and, just awesome.
So do you think if he's actually going to play Batman, is he supposed to bulk up, do you think?
Oh, these days, anybody that's going to play a superhero, they have to go off to a country where certain things are legal.
And just start taking them.
And train, and then they come back.
Well, they're just not tested here yet. It just doesn't have, permission.
Well, and Nikki, it's all natural.
It is.
Because, if you find it in nature somewhere, I don't know, it's natural. So you can have it, and it's going to help you.
Well, someone mark this time in Riot's history. So then when we, forward a few years, we'll look back, be like, yeah, he was in everything.
I'm just telling you that every time I go to the internet to prepare for this show, there's his name attached to something else. His time is coming. I didn't say we wanted it, but it feels like somebody somewhere has selected him. Well, and they're bringing him up.
Why maybe then is this an actual, is it a money thing where they're paying for the news for him to come out? And so then that way we start hearing the buzz about him?
I don't think Variety works that way.
Oh, I bet you it does.
Maybe it does.
Maybe it does.
I don't think so. I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you get what I mean.
I do.
His people are telling other people to start talking about him, and us, the people, then all we do is hear about him.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, Nikki. I hear you. But no, I think that you and I live in Robert Pattinson's world, and we just don't know it yet.
But we'll get it as those movies start coming out.
The only morning show brave enough to say that Chicken McNuggets are part of a balanced breakfast. The Riot on Radio U.
Pass the maple syrup. What's that about? I'm sorry. A boot.
That sounds better.
I tried, and it didn't even come out as a boot. So there's a woman from Canada that has done, I'm not going to say the impossible, and I'm not going to say the improbable. I'm going to say the dumb. But she's now a world record holder, and she could kick your butt and mine and Nikki's and a lot of other people's probably.
Oh, combine, what'd she do?
She now holds the world record for longest plank.
Oh, holding a plank?
Mm-hmm.
So like the workout move?
Yeah, the workout move where you put your arms down and you tighten up your core and you're basically doing an isolated push-up, but you're doing
Legs
it
out.
On your elbows and stuff. Yeah. How long do you think she held a plank for, Nikki?
Well, it must be a lot. So I think, when your time was 60 seconds each, I have a feeling it's longer.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 hours?
The previous record was 3 hours and 30 minutes.
What was her record then?
4 hours and 20 minutes.
4 hours holding a plank?
Yep.
Oh, that must have been painful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm bored right now just talking about it.
I wouldn't want to do anything for 4 hours, let alone a workout move.
She's from Montreal. Her name's Dana, and she set the record. Okay, get a load of this. I did not know this. In Naperville, Illinois, last week, they had the first International Plank Training Conference.
Of course they did.
It was a whole
conference about that.
Conference. I mean, they're having conferences for everything. Nikki, you and I could do the conference circuit and speak because there's so many conferences. At some point, they're like, you know what?
We'll take them.
We'll just take anybody.
So did she do this at the thing and now it's been recognized or something? Or?
Oh, yeah. It is now official.
So sometimes with world records, and I don't understand it, but they're like, oh, you get a 5-minute bathroom break or something. Did she do it the whole entire 4 hours or does it not say?
If I understand this correctly, she did. It was a straight 4 hours. Huh. So,
good for her.
Gosh. Yeah.
How's her abs look? Are they pretty good then?
Well, I mean, there's not a picture of her. I'm just looking at video of her at the 4 hour and 12-minute mark. So,
arm shaking.
No, but you see her you can see her muscles starting to kind of waver a little bit, but still.
Well, that seems a bit much. It's a bit overachieving.
Amazing. Now, the record for the longest male plank is held by a guy in China named Mao. He held the position for 8 hours and 1 minute.
Whoa! What? It's way more.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
May 14th, 2016.
Wow, forget that. No, thank you.
What the what?
Don't worry, body. We won't make you do that.
You'll never have to.
Don't worry. Just don't even listen to Obi anymore.
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the riot. On Radio U.
One of the great things about clearance sales is that it lets you do something really dumb with your money, but it doesn't hit you that hard. And that's definitely what happened to me yesterday.
But there's a reason why the stuff's on clearance.
I know,
so
but
it makes you think like you're not investing in an item that was really very popular.
Nikki, what am I?
You are a harbinger of failure.
Boom!
That means the things that Obi likes are not the things that take off. TV shows, movies, just anything.
Right.
Any sort of category. If he loves it enough, it'll eventually be discontinued in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. So what do you think that means that clearance is for me?
Your great stuff. You're right. It's all the stuff you loved.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is a blessing in disguise, isn't it?
It sure is.
So what did you find that you probably love so much?
I'm so pumped. I had seen this thing.
No one ever on a clearance item.
I had seen this thing before, just to be clear, and they had it.
Is it ThinkGeek?
Oh, ThinkGeek had yesterday. It was like a 1 day only, 75% off clearance, and so the stuff that they had on clearance at the clearance price, you got 75% off the clearance price.
Oh, wow. All right. Was it free? Are they paying you for it to take it off their hands?
Not quite.
What'd you buy?
I bought myself a Mystery Science Theater 3000 logo rug.
What? A rug?
Yeah, it's a big rug. It's actually not that big. It's pretty small. But
like a doormat or an indoor rug?
Basically that. I'll send it to you there.
I can see that this... I mean, who buys rugs?
30 inches in diameter. So it's not big.
What are you going to do with it?
I think I'm going to put it... Like, you know how you go downstairs in my basement? I think I'm going to put it at the bottom of the stairs.
Yes, you are.
So you come downstairs and look, there's a rug at the bottom of the stairs.
Or you could hang it on the wall, I guess. There's no reason why you have to put it on the floor.
That's a good point. I could also do that. So
I could see exactly why this did not take off.
I think I paid
that was an exclusive.
I paid about $7 for it. So
that's a great price.
Doesn't that feels right? It
feels about right. And so on the rug,
$7
was the shipping anything, or was it free shipping?
It wasn't free shipping. I think I paid, I don't know, it was maybe $3 or $4 to ship it. So I mean, grand total $10, $11. But you can't just buy that in stores.
No one will carry that.
I'll tell you, I also bought myself the Mystery Science Theater 3000 blanket, which was a.
You're buying house decor items.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, this is great. When you want to, are you redecorating?
I bought this stuff on clearance because it's going to disappear and it's never coming back.
They don't want to ever recognize that they made a rug. And it's like, no, I have it in my house.
I've got the rug and the blanket. So, I mean, all that shipping together plus that, I think I paid like $16, $17.
It feels okay because it is so cheap.
So
but it's
cheap.
I never thought you'd come into the studio and say, hey, guess what I bought yesterday?
I bought a rug and a blanket.
And then you're like, at first, like, oh, it's so great. Okay, and then you're like, nope, it's a Mystery Science Theater rug.
Well, what's wrong with this? I mean, it's just because if other people don't want it, great, I do.
Take it. What else did you want that was Mystery Science Theater? Was it the patches, or you wanted for a Halloween costume?
I think for Halloween next year, I'm going to make myself a Mystery Science Theater outfit.
Why don't you just wrap the rug on your back or something?
Maybe I will.
Put it on a jacket.
Maybe I will. I'll turn the blanket into a cape.
Yeah, you can do that.
It's perfect.
Well, congratulations to you for buying two wonderfully priced items.
It is a little sad. ThinkGeek got purchased by GameStop. GameStop now has tons of ThinkGeek stuff in their stores, and it's just always on clearance.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things where ThinkGeek was working as a small like niche thing, but they've tried to make it big.
It ruins it.
There's just not a big enough market for it.
There wasn't someone in the store able to tell them, no, we don't need a Mystery Science Theater rug. You know, the only person who's going to buy it is Obi.
Once it's on 75% off of the clearance price.
You wouldn't even spend full price on it.
Oh, heck no.
The Riot is to your ears what all those energy drinks are to your liver.
For the love of God, please stop. I can only process so much. Oh.
The Riot, Radio U.
One of my continuing fears for my good friend and co-host Nikki is that one day she will also be called an idiot.
Why?
Well, Nikki, because here's a man online doing something that people are calling him an idiot.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I'm like, oh.
You could see me doing it too?
Nikki is so close to being an idiot for the internet. She's so close. What this is, it's video of a guy in Russia.
Oh, the guy in the bear. Of course I've seen it.
Of course you have. That's why I didn't even question. I didn't even ask, have you seen this?
It's a guy, like, they're on the side of the road and there's a bear. It seems like it's it doesn't seem as big until it starts standing up at the end. Then you're like, oh, wait, that's a pretty good sized bear.
So he gets out of the car and he's like, oh, I'll go talk to the bear. Hello, bear. But in Russian. And he's like, maybe he's going to pet the bear or whatever.
They said he wanted to try to pet the bear.
Yeah. Now, here's what's really dumb. You can tell that the bear, watch the bear. It obviously feels threatened, like it is pulling back and watching him. And what I thought was fascinating is he keeps yelling at it, whatever, and he finally gives up. But as soon as he turns his back on the bear, it immediately charges him.
And it is quick.
Yes, way faster than you would have thought.
You go into these situations like, I could totally be able to sprint and just get away.
A bear?
No, that thing lunges, and it's so like, oh my gosh, you could be dead.
Sometimes the thing to keep in mind is if you ever play a car racing video game, one of the things that you often have to decide is, do you want quickness or speed? So do you want fast acceleration or do you want a high top speed? And so if you go fast acceleration, you can pull out of the curves faster than everybody else. But in the straightaways, they're going to kill you on the top end speed. And so, Nikki, while your top end speed may be higher than a bear's, like you might be able to outrun a bear in a marathon.
I don't even think I can. I don't think I could either way.
I'm just saying, theoretically, you might have the top speed, but I get the feeling that it's short range. It's acceleration faster than you.
Yeah, I got to be able to hide behind something.
Yeah, you do.
I know you're worried about me, but remember, I went on a bear tour. I went to...
so you're an expert now.
No, I went to Whistler, and I took a bear tour where they take you up, and we saw plenty of bears, and they were right on the other side of the road, so they're just a few feet away. I didn't go after them. I didn't get too close. I squealed a lot, but I did, especially when the baby bears came out. But I was good. I did not go try to pet them, and I know everybody's worried about that.
His appendix has to come out. Hey, I know what you're thinking, but I had a first aid class once.
No, I don't
so
worry.
It's fine.
I'm just saying, don't worry. I don't think I would do that when I'd actually be right in front of them.
Well, you know what, Nikki? I feel the need to consistently reaffirm to you and remind you.
Now, if it's a baby polar bear, then bye-bye. I don't think I could hold back. But I have not been put in that situation.
Paul just said, did you say that he has to have his appendix removed now? No, Paul, that was supposed to be a metaphor.
It's a different thing.
Nikki's saying that she saw bears once, so she's fine. She won't, she can handle it.
Listen, I'm not hopping the fence at the zoo.
Going up to somebody that needs their appendix out, and then I say, I had first aid once, I can take care of it.
I feel like I have proven myself to be okay around them. I didn't go all like this guy did.
That's because you were with a tour guide.
Actually, yes.
This guy was by himself.
I didn't want to embarrass myself.
Mm-hmm. They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
It's all right. Go ahead. Take a little nappy. Which, isn't a nappy like a napkin or something you wipe with?
Oh, you mean just a nap? We're just calling it a sleep time?
Mm-hmm. Nikki, I don't know if you know this, but over the weekend, the World Health Organization, they went ahead and added unmanaged work stress
to something.
They made it an official health condition.
Oh, really?
It's basically burnout. So they call it chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. That's the official. I'm going to say it again because I want you to get ready to go to work and tell your boss you have to leave because of it. You ready?
Okay, let's get it the right way.
Chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed.
So what does that mean, though? That means you can then get your workplace to help you successfully manage it, or because you're going to have a job.
Well,
I know. We don't want that.
If you're under chronic stress that's not being managed properly, you're going to have to do something about it. And it's become officially, like they have added it to the list.
That just means there's funding now.
It's official list of diseases.
There's just funding now for it.
Well, great. How can I get some of that?
Well, they say that a sure sign is, which everybody will say yes to, that when you're done with the weekend, so like yesterday, I know a lot of people had yesterday off. So last night, or maybe if it's normally on a Sunday night, how do you feel when it's time to get ready to go back to work the following day? And they say
agony and despair.
If you don't feel any sorts of positive, then, you might be stressed because you're not wanting to go back into that stressful environment. But everybody's going to say yes, they don't want to.
Are you ready?
What?
Okay. There are three defining symptoms of chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed.
Get your bell ready to see if anybody feels yes on this.
Here we go. Number one, feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion.
Every day. That's every day.
2, increased mental distance from one's job or feelings of negativism or cynicism related to one's job.
Everybody, every day.
And then 3, reduced professional efficacy. And I know what you're thinking. I don't know what efficacy means.
But I'm sure you have it.
So I'm going to give you the definition. The ability to produce a desired result.
So a professional desired result.
Right. So like the ability to basically do your job. So like I come to work and I do the riot, but I'm trying to make it good, but it's so bad. Like that.
That sort of thing.
Right. So that's reduced professional efficacy. It's not funny, guys.
I'm a little worried how it seems like we're hitting the nail on all three of those.
So, like...
What do you do about it?
Well, no, what I want to know is, I just want to know, and I'm completely serious, did anybody within the sound of our voice not hit all three of those?
I think everybody does.
No, that's what I'm saying is, what if they don't? What if right now there were multiple people in the audience that were like, oh, no, not even close.
I love my life.
I'm super excited.
I'm sure there's a couple of people.
I have feelings of increased energy. So I can't. All right, so I just... 877-2-RADIO-U.
I want to know.
I want to know if anybody didn't fit any of the three.
Now, Mike says he got all of that and he works at Walmart. So he's more in line with us.
Oh, that must be how Mike got that Dr. Pepper dark berry.
Oh, yeah, probably from work.
Good job, Mike. Thanks for letting. He said it was good. So, you know what, man? Keep Walmart going. I got to have somewhere to go. You know, when I'm not here, somewhere to hang out.
Having all these feelings.
You just go in there and get yourself one of those clear plastic things full of like 18 sugar cookies, and you just sit in the back and eat them.
Great. That's how everybody copes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, feel free to text anytime about anything, okay?
Here we are.
All right. We're always here for you. 877-2-RADIO-U. You can also find us at RadioU Riot on our Facebook page in case you ever want a message for any reason.
Wait, text from David. I work in audio install, but I don't feel all three. Just lots of tired.
That's a normal one.
Boom! Nikki, he's only 1 for 3. So that's something.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then, they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on Radio U.
You know, sometimes one of the great joys of Nikki and I's job are those gems that you find online. Oh, they're gems. You get a chance to...
You mean the stories we locate?
Get a chance to pass them on to each other. And I sent Nikki a real shiner last night. Just a diamond in the rough, as it were. There is, according to Asia One, which is an English website that collects news from Asia and presents it. they have a woman in Hong Kong who apparently
Allegedly. Well, I just want to put that. I don't believe this.
You know,
I don't believe this.
let me give you a direct quote of what Nikki said to me last night about this story. She says, and I quote, "I reject that. It can't be true."
Correct. I stand behind my statement. But you may still present it if you would like.
There's a woman in Hong Kong who was, you know what? Can I just read it to you?
Just make it nice.
I want to read this to you. It says, this is a quote from Asia1.com. Just ask one Hong Kong woman who temporarily lost 10 years of her memory after overstraining herself while defecating, according to the China press.
So
she went to the bathroom hard. And hey, you know what, Nikki? You go hard. You don't leave.
Stop it. Don't ruin any motivational statements for people.
What? You leave it all on the mat.
No. Oh, no. Don't tell me any. We're dropping people off anywhere. We're not doing that.
Okay. So when she came out of the bathroom, she couldn't remember the last 10 years of her life.
When I first read the article, I didn't think her memory had come back to her, but apparently they're saying that it did. It was just temporary.
They say after, what was it, like 8 hours, 10 hours, something like that? She
returned.
So her son took her to the doctor. I'd love it to explain that one. Like, hey, doctor, my mom can't remember the last 10 years.
Well, they also had to figure out what had caused it. And then that's when they figured out, was she been in the bathroom right before it happened?
Right. So what they believe is Dr. Peng Xingzong believes that this is transient global amnesia. It's a condition that could have been caused by incompetence in the internal jugular vein where blood flow to the brain is compromised. And so she, during a rather intense bout, oxygen was cut off to her brain.
No,
as a result.
10 years she forgot, but it came back.
It came back once, blood flow returned.
Yes, thanks for sharing this. I don't think it's true, but maybe it is. It could be medical. Could very well be.
Again,
did this ever happen on Grey's Anatomy? Because it seems like they're always looking for, that show's been on forever. I wouldn't be surprised if you see this come up in one of the medical shows.
You know what? This woman goes to the bathroom and she can't remember her husband, and she wants to see her ex-husband, I think, who's dead. And it's because he has to be dead. He can't just be out there. Or maybe he's out there with a younger woman. Or he's out there and married to one of the interns on Grey's Anatomy.
There it is. And then her memory goes away, but comes back.
It comes back, but she has a heart attack from the shock of that, and then eventually gets her memory back.
So that's the story. Do we think it's true, or do we not?
Hey, ripped from the headlines.
It's something ripped.
Ripped from the headlines. I'm sure it's real.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.